Beat It AT, what up? Beat It AT, what up? Beat It
What's up, everyone? It is Andrew of Beat It AT. In this video, I have a Tyga type of beat for you guys. It is more of like that West Coast club type of sound with a bit of like ethnic and flute with a bit of a vocal chop from Arcade by Output. It's a pretty simple beat, but it kind of gets the job done. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the full beat for you, and then after that we are going to get started on breaking it down. So that was kind of like the gist of the beat. It kind of just loops over, so you're not really going to be missing anything new by me not playing chorus 2, verse 2, chorus 3, outro. It pretty much just loops over, keeping it simple. So I'm going to go ahead and we are going to start off with breaking down the melody, the main instruments, not including the drums and 808. So if I look in here, we got a flute, strings, and vocals. And the vocals are from Arcade by Output. And then we got the strings and flute from Omnisphere. So part of the thing is, before we even get started with the melody and such, we got to know, are we in the right tempo for that style? So for Tyga, more specifically on that West Coast bop, groove club style, that's around like the 95 to 110 BPM, around that area. And so as you guys can see in here, we are at 110 BPM, allowing us to kind of get in that pocket. So I could tell you guys what key we're in. We are in A sharp minor. So A sharp minor, go to helpers, scale highlighting, A sharp. You guys could see that the notes, we are all on A sharp. I can't remember the exact scale, but where you get that Arabic, Middle Eastern ethnic vibe is by picking a lot of notes that are kind of close to each other. As you can see, I go from C to A sharp. There's not much of a gap, and then C sharp, C, A sharp, C, C, A sharp, G to A sharp, or I'm sorry, G sharp to A sharp, and then all these notes are relatively very close. And I'm sure someone who's trained in music theory that sees this video, if they don't mind explaining that in the comments, that would be appreciated, or indicating what exact scale, because a lot of times scales kind of interchange with you can have multiple scales within similar note patterns, or scales can in a sense overlap. So although we are in A sharp minor, we are definitely, at least with this flute, if I were to mute everything but the flute, so muting the vocals in that string instrument, it looks like it's this mellotron flute. Yeah, it's that mellotron flute. So when you add that on top of this string, let's see it. Pensive Charingo, then ethnic world. So kind of fits that vibe. It's not a complex melody. I'm really only shifting between a couple keys, and we're all within obviously the same scale. I'm not trying to go out of this scale. I'm trying to keep it simple. It's a club song, so F, F sharp, A sharp, A sharp. So it's pretty simple. Nothing. These are melodies that you guys can come up with very easily. You guys just looking at how I'm kind of placing these notes around. So when we add that flute and string together, let me just rename this to flute. And it kind of helps with that when these notes in that like sitar sounding string instrument kind of bounce back with our flute. You could see where they kind of hit. Doing kind of like elements and melody structures like that will kind of help us with keeping all the notes in sync together, allowing more of a fluid bounce. So if I go back and we see this vocal, it was from Arcade, and it was called, the preset's called Give and Take. A sharp minor, you guys kind of see my settings. I wasn't really focused on having any delay or reverb from there, because what I did after the fact was I add a Valhalla vintage verb, which I love Valhalla's reverbs. I've been using them a ton. And then I use this pitch shifter, so it's like an octave down, but that's just adding more of that sound to the vocal, like without it. Now with it. And I kind of just add that little bit at the end because it kind of tightens up that melody and loops it back. So that's pretty much it for the melody. There's really no variations or any changes to the core melody other than throughout the verse, intro, and such. I take out certain elements, so I might remove the flute in the verse, and I will remove the arcade from the verse. But besides that, I'm not changing the notes and melodies. I could, if I omit a couple notes, maybe I would omit these top ones from the string instrument. But for simplicity's sake, and to make it easier on the song, the artist and songwriter, I'm not going to try to introduce too many melodies or too many counter melodies. So that's it for breaking down the melody.
Beat It AT, what up?